Hello again. I thought I would get on YouTube and explain a little bit about the experiment I did on myself about 10 years ago. So it started 15 years ago. I met this man on Facebook, complete total stranger, but he had been off the grid for 40 years. Yes, you heard me right, 40 years. So over the course of 5 years of asking him questions and talking to him on Facebook and Messenger, I got the wild idea. I wanted to go meet him. So I talked to my wife about it, and she gave me her blessing to go, and I planned a trip. So this man was probably in his early 70s. He, within the course of 5 years, had become like a second grandpa to me. Great man, just very knowledgeable, willing to share what he knew about being off the grid and living naturally. So anyway, he lived in Klamath Falls, Oregon, and I planned a trip, which that whole story is actually probably worth doing a video on itself, on my trip and everything that happened. But anyway, for this video, I'll just go in briefly, kind of an overview. So we arrived in Klamath Falls, or I did, and noticed immediately this was going to be an experience of a lifetime. So he was on well water. The only thing that he depended on the grid for was gasoline. So the well was pumped by a generator run the pump, and he had to go get the gas for the generator. Other than that, he spent about $100 a month roughly on supplies for the homestead. He had a truck, so he'd have to put gas in the truck. $100 to $200 a month is about all he spent. So anyway, so for 7 days I lived with this man, and he walked me around his place and showed me his hot water tank, which was a black 2-inch water line curled up on the ground on top of a black piece of plastic. About noon, he would empty the black water line into a container inside the house that he had wrapped in blankets, kind of his own insulation in the big container to keep it hot for the day. So he did that about 12 o'clock, about noon, and then it would stay hot, and we took our showers out of that water. He had a little DC powered pump, just like on a camper that he used for the shower, and the water was still hot 9 and 10 o'clock at night. I mean, it wasn't scalding hot by no means, but it was hot enough. It felt good. It was a great shower. So his greenhouse was very large, probably 50 to 75 yards wide, probably about the same length, maybe a little longer. Had every plant you could imagine growing. Now, he's in Klamath Falls, Oregon. So this isn't Arkansas, where I live. The beefsteak tomato plant that he had absolutely blew my mind. The tomatoes on the plant, which you know, they're very large fruit, can be over a pound very often. His were mostly over 2 pounds, some even reaching closer to 3 pounds. The stalk on his tomato plant was 6 to 8 inches in diameter. I couldn't reach my hands around the stalk with both of my hands. I couldn't touch finger to finger. Most of y'all don't know me, but I'm 6'9", and that's a pretty good sized stalk. I couldn't reach around it with my hands. Now here's the amazing part. That tomato plant was growing in dirt that was only 2 inches away from solid rock. So I pause a little bit because it was very surprising to me even. So yes, you didn't misunderstand me. Solid rock, just 2 inches below this plant. So the way he grew the plant was it had about 2 feet of compost up the stalk. So it was in that minor 2 inches of soil that was right next to the rock, the seed was, and then he had 2 feet of compost, manure, fertilizer, all the stuff that he had made himself from his own personal garden and animals, was stacked up about 2 feet up the stalk. The tomato plant, or tree as I call it, which of course is not a tree, but it was as big as a tree, was about 8 or 9 feet high. It was all the way to the top of the greenhouse. The branches, the limbs reached out down the rafters of the greenhouse. He had it tied to the rafters. He had a big step ladder that he would tie it to the rafters and reach up there and support a fruit, a tomato that may need to be supported. It was just plumb amazing, and that's just one plant. Now mind you, this entire greenhouse is in this same soil that's 2 inches away from rock. We took a rebar and hit it in the dirt, and 1 inch to 2 inch below the dirt was solid rock. Just absolutely blew my mind. And he's got rows, some of the stuff would be in kind of not really a raised bed, but it would have like landscape timbers beside the plants with the compost inside the landscape timber after the seed started. So he would plant the seed in the dirt with a little bit of compost, and as it grew he added more compost and fertilizer to the little area where the plants were. And that's what the entire greenhouse was, covered in any kind of plant you can imagine. I mean, any kind of pepper, any kind of herb. There wasn't an abundance of one plant because he's just feeding his family and a few friends that would come and ask him for whatever they needed. So he only had the amount of plants he needed for him and his family. He didn't need 5 beefsteak tomato plants. One supplied way more beefsteak tomatoes than what he needed when it's growing as good as his was. So anyway, we are just a few days away from me starting my natural living food lifestyle. I hope you will follow along and go with me on this journey. All of my medical friends I've met over the years and doctors, I hope you will follow along as well. I think it will be eye-opening and surprised to how fast my blood sugar drops. In the 7 days I was there, I was off of all my diabetic medicine. In 7 days. Anything I've ever been taught in nursing school or by physicians, that's not possible. You can't lower your A1C that fast. It's what we've always been taught. Please remember, I am not an active nurse. I am not saying any of this as a nurse or as a doctor. I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. My license is expired. I'm strictly speaking as a biologist and what I have seen in my own personal experiment with me. Now, I understand what happened for me is not going to happen for everybody else. We're all different. But I will say this, if you're a type 2 diabetic, this lifestyle will help you tremendously. I thank you for following and sharing these videos. It's what keeps me going. I have no willpower. That's why I'm a very uncontrolled diabetic. This is what gives me strength to keep me going. I enjoy educating people. I enjoy talking about what I've learned. It's something that not really, I couldn't consider it a hobby. It's just something I really enjoy doing. I like to share what I've learned through the years. So I hope you'll follow me on this journey. I am working on a recipe book. Also working on a web page. As soon as I get those finished, I will put that in the videos to follow once I get that completed. I'll also do more video editing as we go along. Right now I don't really have much time. I'm just trying to get everything started, so the videos will be, hopefully, be a little better as we get further along into this. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.